So here we are in March, a run of a few really nice days, and we've done some mowing down here, which we couldn't do before because it was so wet. It's getting quite busy here. So I've done trenches here, just over here. You don't have to do trenches with potatoes. Some people just do a hole of 6 inches and they just stick them in the hole. I prefer trenches, which is the traditional way, because I find it easier to cover the potatoes after, and when they come through I recover them, what they call hoeing up, because of the frost. If we get frost, we may not get it now, but I'm just putting in early potatoes, and if we get a frost, then it's best to cover the green shoots, also to stop potatoes going green. When it is covered, if find I've got space, I might even interplant a quick crop like radish and lettuce or something of that type if I find I've got space, because it takes potatoes quite a time to mature when they have the flower. I think maybe I'd get on with actually putting the potatoes in. That you're only getting the company, but
oh, I see.
There's Charlotte, Swift, Rocket.
Jazzy. Yeah.
It's a very quick process. There's a debate going on whether to chit or not chit early potatoes. They are coming through the shoots, you'll see them, and you plant them with the shoots upward, but it is said about early potatoes, no need to chit. My later ones are coming through with bigger chits, growth. So I just go ahead and put them in really with the shoots, upwards for the most. Okay, so I'm just basically doing them 12 inches apart. They don't stay like this, they get covered soon after. I have my hoe here. The stick itself, oh, that's just as a measurement. Sometimes I just use my hand. It's more or less 12 inches apart. The later potatoes are planted 15 to main crop 18. So you can see the shoots are up. Now there's different ways of people treat potatoes. I once heard these chaps that they said that, oh, we never water. I do water, but there's a dilemma, because if you water from on top, you're doing the same as the rain does, which brings the blight. I'm thinking this year to try putting in drip pipes and water from underneath. So instead of, because I couldn't find my marker, I'll use this and come back with a marker, and just reminding myself what this is. Rocket. Okay. So now I'm going to take the Swift. I think these are actually, the other ones are kind of second early. Of course, with growing, people can come back and say, oh, you don't do it that way, you do it this way. So, but each to their own. I like this way, and it's worked for me. So I'm doing exactly the same thing. These they have chitted somewhat. Anyway, so can't complain. They were sitting in the conservatory, and it was a friend of mine who would keep his in his greenhouse with a little bit of heat I'm not sure about that one, but he got quite big shoots. Of course, it's uneven here, so not the easiest for walking. Try not to break the shoot here. That's it. And he's done this one. After these next two bags, I'm going to be covering it like I said. I'll turn this a bit up that way. This is all in the right time because the other day I attended a St Patrick's celebration. Not that I'm Irish, but it all fits. The people who were hosting will be very happy to know I'm planting potatoes. It's quite a quick process, so rather than making holes. Now I'm putting in the jazz. And we've got someone who joined, a cat joined us to see what we're doing. He'll be able to come back in a few months and see them coming through. Yeah, these actually have good shoots. Haven't paid them much attention. I can see it won't cover the whole row, but I might just plant something else. Continue with main crop at the end. It's a good day today because it's dry, and I feel the soil's dried out. I was a bit worried. Oh, actually, it's working out all right. Last one, not bad at all. The trees are flowering here. Last one to go in there. Then there'll be the covering. Right, I'm putting in the Charlotte now. They've all got good shoots. Of course, when I cover, although I'm placing them more or less with the shoots up where I can, they will roll and maybe turn in the soil, but can't have everything precise. Another thing while I'm doing this, I used to use here a machine called a rotavator, and but I don't use it anymore because even though I cleared this soil a number of times from bindweed, I think it just spreads the weeds that are underneath. So I'm more and more moving to a no dig, except here, because the thing is about potatoes, you have to get everything out if you don't want what they call self-sets, them regrowing next year, but they're not where you want something else. So I will have to do a massive digging. I've got to put the label, this, to remind myself. So I will have to dig, then I dig them out, then I come back again and dig until think I've got them all out. But even then you think you've done it, and then they still pop up. And how did that happen? So now at this point I'm going to cover them, so it doesn't take long. And then, as I said, I'll come back and cover them again when they start to show green shoots. Some people don't bother and just hope for the best. It is said if they are at the tops are caught by the frost, the potatoes underneath will still survive. You cut the tops, so this is hoeing up. and then I'll come back and take more. You don't need a heavy covering now, as long as they're covered. I'm also covering the gaps in between because it would look pretty weird. And anyway, they spread their root. Now this, having said I dug so well, this white shoot is bindweed, which goes everywhere. And even if I was going over to no dig, which is, they say, put down cardboard, put down straw, chippings, all that. If I started a new plot, as I told my Italian friend, I would still dig it over and get out the bindweed, and then I would switch over to not digging after I'd got out the bindweed. Here it is again. This is bindweed, and it's a bane of everyone's life. They do say if you keep cutting it, it will stop after a while. It will just weaken. But I think this bindweed, further on, I don't think I'll find it because it's coming in from the grass. There's a bit more here. What I'll do, what I am trying, and I mentioned it before, is I'll try not to chop the is soaking the bindweed and other weeds in water. That's up the and using the and let it break down, because they say it's a good fertilizer, and then it has no, it's weak and it can't do anything. So I'll still have plenty of soil to cover again when if and when I need to. Now, looking at the trenches over here, I'm going to need more than what I've got here for the main crop. Further back over there is what was once the fire pit. They stopped burning there, and I said, let me take it over, and whatever grows there, people can harvest. I'm just picking these up because these were the remains of shallots from last year. Could even try replanting them and see what happens. So there were onions and shallots here. Shallots. So onions and such can often turn into perennials, so it seems to me. My partner won't be happy sticking them in my pockets, but when they go in the wash, but there you go. There's still some leeks in the ground. I'll try and avoid them if I can. These are the leeks there. But they're not that sturdy. I hope I get better leeks this year. I actually like it like this when I form ridges here. I also think it helps channel the water. That's just the theory. Nice row here. That's trying to avoid the spinach. Yes, I had quite a good crop from the spinach here. And it's still, this is from last year. Now I also want to make the remark that, and I was asked by my U3A group, can they buy potatoes and onions in a supermarket and plant them? I told them people do that, but I think it's risky because they can have a virus. These are certified, checked, and these are, I think they're Scottish actually, so I know I'm putting in healthy potatoes. And one of the plot holders here told me he does that. He buys from a supermarket and he puts them in the ground. Puts garlic in the ground. And then one year he told me he has problems, disease. So I will come back and mark everything. So I know what the next lot, the main, I'll probably put in the rows in mid-April. So I basically finished here. So now not much else I can do. The thing is, there's I think the word in English is hiatus. So it's a bit of with growing, there's a kind of waiting period at times. But I will come in with lettuce, quick growing stuff, lettuce and radish. Patchouli apparently likes cool weather. See you in April.